Prelude. Defining perfectionism. At its core, perfectionism is often mistaken as a mere penchant for detail or a relentless pursuit of excellence. However, it extends far beyond these superficial characteristics, embedding itself deeply into the fabric of one's psyche. To understand perfectionism, we must first acknowledge that, to some degree, everyone strives for perfection in various aspects of their lives, whether it be in their professional endeavors, personal projects, or even daily routines. This universal inclination towards excellence is not inherently negative. In fact, it drives progress and innovation. Yet, the perfectionism we address in this context is of a different breed. It's an all-consuming force that dictates one's self-worth and happiness through an unattainable standard of flawlessness. It is characterized by an internal dialogue that is relentlessly critical and unforgiving, where success is often dismissed as never good enough and mistakes, however minor, are seen as catastrophic failures. This form of perfectionism transcends the healthy ambition for improvement, morphing into a crippling fear of failure and an obsessive compulsion for control. The distinction between healthy striving and detrimental perfectionism lies in the emotional impact and the rigidity of the expectations set upon oneself. For perfectionists in the more pathological sense, the scope of their perfectionism can vary widely, from academic achievements, physical appearance, and professional success to more mundane tasks and hobbies. What unifies these diverse areas is not the pursuit of excellence itself, but the underlying motivations and the consequences of these pursuits. Perfectionism becomes problematic when it is driven by a fear of inadequacy and a desperate need for validation, rather than a genuine desire for personal growth or satisfaction. It is when this relentless pursuit starts to impede one's ability to enjoy life, form healthy relationships, and accept oneself, that it becomes evident we're dealing with a form of perfectionism that is more imprisoning than empowering. Thus, when we talk about overcoming perfectionism, we're not advocating for mediocrity or a lack of ambition. Instead, we're calling for a recalibration of our internal measures of success and failure, a shift towards self-compassion, and an acceptance of imperfection not just as a fact of life, but as a critical element of personal growth and human connection. The societal magnification of perfectionism. In a world where social media platforms and cultural narratives constantly bombard us with images of success, beauty, and achievement, the pressures of perfectionism are not merely personal battles, they are significantly magnified by societal expectations. This chapter explores how society not only cultivates but also exacerbates the perfectionism trap, turning what could be a personal inclination into a widespread phenomenon. The role of social media. Social media platforms have become arenas for showcasing highlights of one's life, often edited and filtered to portray an idealized version of reality. This digital veneer creates a false benchmark for personal and professional success, leading individuals to aspire to unattainable standards and perpetually compare themselves to others. Cultural and educational expectations. From a young age, the educational system and cultural norms instill the value of competition and excellence, frequently equating one's worth with their achievements. This relentless pursuit of accolades and academic success plants the seeds of perfectionism early on, fostering an environment where anything less than perfect is deemed unacceptable. The myth of the perfect life. Mainstream media and advertising further entrench the idea that a perfect life, characterized by career success, physical attractiveness, and material wealth, is not only desirable but attainable. This myth perpetuates a cycle of dissatisfaction and striving where individuals feel compelled to chase an illusory standard of perfection to achieve happiness and social acceptance. The societal magnification of perfectionism creates a pervasive sense of inadequacy as individuals strive to meet externally imposed ideals rather than focusing on their personal growth and well-being. This chapter discusses the mechanisms through which society amplifies the pressure to be perfect, examining the detrimental impact on individuals' mental health, self-esteem, and overall quality of life. By understanding these societal forces, we can begin to dismantle the perfectionism trap, advocating for a more compassionate and realistic approach to self-improvement and success. The psychological impact of living in the trap. Living within the confines of the perfectionism trap exacts a heavy toll on an individual's mental and emotional well-being. The relentless pursuit of an unattainable standard of flawlessness can lead to a myriad of psychological challenges, profoundly affecting one's quality of life. This section delves into the significant psychological impacts of being ensnared in this trap, highlighting three critical areas of concern. Chronic stress and anxiety. The constant pressure to meet impossibly high standards sets the stage for an ongoing state of stress and anxiety. Perfectionists often live in fear of making mistakes, leading to a perpetual cycle of worry and hypervigilance. This state of continuous stress can contribute to anxiety disorders, panic attacks, and an overall sense of being overwhelmed by life's demands. Low self-esteem and self-worth. The internal narrative of a perfectionist is frequently filled with self-criticism and doubt, as their self-worth becomes inextricably linked to their achievements and the perceived perfection of their output. Failure to meet their own unrealistic expectations can lead to feelings of inadequacy and a profound sense of disappointment in oneself. This cycle of self-criticism and unmet expectations can erode self-esteem, leading to a distorted and negative self-image. Depression and isolation. The isolation felt by those caught in the perfectionism trap can be both a cause and effect of depression. As the individual struggles with the unattainable standards they've set for themselves, the constant sense of failure and disappointment can lead to depressive symptoms. Additionally, the shame associated with perceived imperfections can cause individuals to withdraw from social interactions, further exacerbating feelings of loneliness and isolation. This isolation not only hinders social relationships but also amplifies the internal struggle, creating a feedback loop that can be difficult to break. The psychological impact of living in the perfectionism trap is profound and multifaceted. It not only affects mental health in the form of stress, anxiety, and depression but also impairs one's ability to enjoy life, form meaningful relationships, and accept oneself. Breaking free from this trap requires a conscious effort to shift one's mindset, embrace imperfection, and cultivate self-compassion, thereby mitigating these psychological impacts and opening the door to a more fulfilling life. Chapter 1: The Perfectionism Spectrum. Perfectionism is not a one-size-fits-all attribute. It manifests across a broad spectrum, affecting individuals in uniquely nuanced ways. This diversity in the experience of perfectionism suggests that understanding its various forms and degrees is crucial to both recognizing it in ourselves and addressing its impact on our lives. This chapter aims to guide you through the complexity of the perfectionism spectrum, illuminating the subtle distinctions and varying intensities with which it can present. We begin by exploring the conceptual framework of the spectrum, providing you with the tools to identify your own position within it. Subsequently, we delve into the specific markers and characteristics of high-end perfectionism, shedding light on how this intense form can significantly alter one's mental health, personal relationships, and overall quality of life. By mapping out the spectrum of perfectionism, we embark on the first step towards understanding and ultimately navigating the challenges it poses. Understanding the spectrum. Perfectionism is not a one-size-fits-all trait. Rather, it exists on a broad spectrum that ranges from healthy, adaptive perfectionism to maladaptive, destructive forms. This spectrum is defined by the intensity of perfectionist behaviors, the motivations behind these behaviors, and the impact they have on an individual's life. Understanding this spectrum is the first step in recognizing how perfectionism manifests uniquely in each person and how it influences their daily experiences. Healthy versus unhealthy perfectionism. At one end of the spectrum lies healthy perfectionism, characterized by a positive drive towards excellence with realistic standards and a balanced view of one's abilities and limitations. This form of perfectionism is motivated by growth, learning, and self-improvement. On the opposite end is unhealthy perfectionism, driven by fear of failure, excessive self-criticism, and unrealistic standards that are impossible to meet. This type of perfectionism can lead to significant distress and is often paralyzing. External versus internal drivers. The spectrum also distinguishes between perfectionism driven by external pressures and expectations, such as societal standards or familial demands, and that which is internally driven by one's own critical self-evaluations and desire for control. External drivers often exacerbate the weight of perfectionism, adding an additional layer of complexity to an already challenging trait. Impact on functioning. The position one occupies on the spectrum can significantly affect their overall functioning. Healthy perfectionists tend to exhibit high levels of achievement without compromising their well-being, whereas unhealthy perfectionists may achieve high standards at the cost of their mental and emotional health, leading to burnout, anxiety, and depression. Understanding where you fall on this spectrum requires a reflective examination of your motivations, behaviors, and the outcomes of your perfectionist tendencies. Recognizing the distinction between striving for excellence in a healthy, constructive way and pursuing perfection in a manner that detracts from your well-being is crucial. This understanding not only illuminates the nuances of perfectionism but also sets the stage for identifying personal patterns and beginning the journey toward a more balanced approach to achievements and self-expectations. Identifying your position. Determining where you stand on the perfectionism spectrum is a crucial step in understanding how this trait influences your life and well-being. By identifying your position, you gain insight into the nature of your perfectionism, whether it leans towards the healthy or unhealthy end of the spectrum, and how it shapes your behaviors, thoughts, and emotions. This section provides a step-by-step guide to help you pinpoint your position on the perfectionism spectrum. 1. Reflect on your goals and standards. List down your recent goals or standards in different areas of your life, work, personal projects, relationships, etc. Evaluate whether these goals are realistic and attainable or if they often exceed your limits and capabilities. 2. Assess your reaction to failure and mistakes. Think about the last time you didn't meet your own expectations or made a mistake. How did you react? Determine if your response was constructive and forgiving or if it was overly critical and self-punishing. 3. Consider the source of your motivations. Analyze whether your drive for perfection is internally motivated, desire for personal growth and satisfaction, or externally driven, fear of judgment, need for validation. Reflect on how much of your perfectionism is influenced by comparisons with others or societal standards. 4. Evaluate the impact on your well-being. Consider whether your perfectionist tendencies improve your life and bring you joy or if they cause stress, anxiety, and unhappiness. Look for signs of burnout, procrastination, or avoidance behaviors as indicators of unhealthy perfectionism. 5. Examine your flexibility and adaptability. Assess how adaptable you are when things don't go according to plan. Are you able to adjust your standards and approaches, or do you struggle with rigidity? Flexibility and the ability to cope with imperfections are key indicators of healthier perfectionism. 6. Seek feedback from trusted others. Sometimes it's challenging to see our own patterns clearly. Ask friends, family, or colleagues for their observations on your perfectionist behaviors and their impact. Through this introspective process, you will develop a nuanced understanding of your position on the perfectionism spectrum. Identifying whether your perfectionism is predominantly healthy, with a focus on growth and achievement without detriment to your well-being, or if it veers towards the unhealthy end, characterized by unrealistic standards and negative impacts on your mental health, is pivotal. This self-awareness is the first step towards fostering a healthier relationship with perfectionism, one that allows for personal excellence without sacrificing your happiness and health. The consequences of high-end perfectionism. High-end perfectionism, where individuals set excessively high standards and engage in critical self-evaluation, can have profound and far-reaching consequences on both mental health and overall life satisfaction. This part of the chapter explores the key impacts and challenges faced by those who find themselves at the more extreme end of the perfectionism spectrum. 1. Increased risk of mental health issues. High-end perfectionism is closely linked with a range of mental health problems, including anxiety disorders, depression, obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, and eating disorders. The intense fear of failure and constant self-criticism create a breeding ground for these conditions, often leading to a vicious cycle of mental distress. The relentless pursuit of unattainable standards can lead to chronic stress, exacerbating symptoms of anxiety and depression. The pressure to maintain a facade of perfection also discourages individuals from seeking help, further entrenching these issues. 2. Impaired academic and professional performance. While perfectionism is often associated with high achievement, at its extreme, it can paradoxically lead to poorer performance in academic and professional settings. This is due to procrastination, avoidance of challenging tasks for fear of failure, and burnout. Perfectionists may spend excessive time on tasks, obsessing over minor details at the expense of overall productivity. This can lead to missed deadlines, decreased output, and opportunities for growth and advancement being overlooked due to fear of not performing perfectly. 3. Strained relationships and social isolation. High-end perfectionism often affects personal relationships, leading to conflict, dissatisfaction, and sometimes isolation. The perfectionist's high expectations can extend to others, causing tension and disappointment when those around them cannot meet these unrealistic standards. Additionally, the shame and vulnerability associated with potential failure can make it difficult for perfectionists to open up and connect with others, leading to a sense of loneliness and disconnection. 4. Physical health consequences. The chronic stress associated with high-end perfectionism can have significant physical health implications, including cardiovascular issues, sleep disturbances, and a weakened immune system. The constant state of stress puts the body in a prolonged state of fight or flight, leading to a range of health problems over time. 5. Diminished life satisfaction and well-being. The ongoing pursuit of perfection and the inevitable failure to achieve it can severely impact one's sense of well-being and satisfaction with life. The inability to appreciate accomplishments, constant self-criticism, and a lack of joy in activities that once brought pleasure are common among those with high-end perfectionism. This diminished life satisfaction is often compounded by a lack of balance, where work or the pursuit of perfection takes precedence over leisure, relaxation, and activities that foster well-being. Recognizing the consequences of high-end perfectionism is vital for understanding the urgency and importance of addressing this trait. While striving for excellence can be positive, when it crosses into the realm of high-end perfectionism, the costs can outweigh the benefits, affecting every aspect of one's life. Acknowledging these consequences is the first step toward seeking a healthier, more balanced approach to perfectionism. Conclusion of Chapter 1: Navigating the Spectrum. As we reach the end of our exploration into the perfectionism spectrum, it's clear that perfectionism is a complex and multifaceted trait that impacts individuals in various ways. This chapter has illuminated the broad range that perfectionism can cover, from healthy, motivating aspirations to the more debilitating forms that can lead to significant psychological distress and diminished quality of life. By understanding this spectrum, identifying your position within it, and recognizing the consequences of high-end perfectionism, you've taken the first crucial steps toward self-awareness and self-improvement. It's important to remember that perfectionism is not inherently negative. However, when left unchecked, it can spiral into a cycle of stress, self-criticism, and missed opportunities for growth. The key lies in finding a balance that allows you to strive for excellence without succumbing to the pitfalls of unrealistic expectations. As we transition into the next chapter, The Origins of Perfectionism, we will delve deeper into understanding where these tendencies come from. By exploring childhood and family influences, societal and cultural pressures, and the role of media and social comparison, we aim to uncover the roots of perfectionism. This knowledge not only helps in understanding why we are the way we are but also empowers us to address and recalibrate our perfectionist tendencies with greater insight and effectiveness. Understanding the origins of perfectionism is an essential step toward unraveling the complexities of this trait and forging a path toward a more balanced, fulfilling life. Let's continue this journey with an open mind and a willingness to confront and transform our perfectionist patterns for the better. Chapter 2: Unearthing the Roots. In this pivotal chapter, we examine the origins of perfectionism, tracing its roots back to the early influences that shape our behaviors and beliefs. The journey of understanding perfectionism is incomplete without exploring the foundations upon which it is built. From the nuanced dynamics of childhood and family environments to the broader societal and cultural pressures, each aspect plays a significant role in the development of perfectionist tendencies. Additionally, we cannot overlook the omnipresent role of media and social comparison in molding our perceptions of success and failure. By examining these core influences, we aim to provide a comprehensive understanding of how perfectionism is not merely a personal trait but a complex interplay of various factors that imprint on individuals from a young age. This exploration is crucial for anyone looking to confront and transform their perfectionist patterns, offering insights into how deeply ingrained beliefs can be challenged and reshaped. As we navigate through the origins of perfectionism, keep in mind that this knowledge is not just about gaining insight but about empowerment. Understanding the roots of perfectionism equips us with the tools to untangle its hold on our lives, setting the stage for meaningful change and a healthier relationship with our aspirations and achievements. Let's embark on this journey to uncover the hidden forces that have shaped our quest for perfection and learn how to recalibrate our expectations for a more balanced and fulfilling life. Childhood and family influences. The seeds of perfectionism are often sown early in life, deeply rooted in our childhood experiences and the family environment in which we grow. This section explores how these foundational aspects contribute to the development of perfectionist behaviors, shaping our attitudes towards success, failure, and self-worth from a young age. 1. Parental expectations and criticism. High expectations from parents, guardians, or significant family members can play a pivotal role in fostering perfectionism. When children are constantly measured against stringent standards, with love and approval seemingly contingent on achievement, they may internalize the belief that their value is tied to their accomplishments. Similarly, frequent criticism or the lack of positive reinforcement for efforts rather than outcomes can lead to a fear of failure and a drive to be flawless in all endeavors. 2. Modeling and mimicry. Children are keen observers, often emulating the behaviors and attitudes of those around them. A family environment where perfectionism is modeled, be it through a parent's meticulous attention to detail, an overt emphasis on achievements, or expressions of dissatisfaction with anything less than perfect, can imprint similar patterns on young minds. This mimicry extends beyond direct interactions as children absorb the implicit messages conveyed through parental stress, anxiety, or dissatisfaction linked to perfectionist tendencies. 3. Family dynamics and roles. The roles assigned or adopted within a family unit can significantly impact the development of perfectionism. For instance, being labeled as the responsible child or the smart one can burden an individual with unrealistic expectations, both self-imposed and from family members. This burden can manifest as a relentless pursuit of perfection to uphold these identities and avoid disappointing others. 4. Early experiences of success and failure. How success and failure are treated within the family context can deeply influence one's relationship with perfectionism. Families that disproportionately celebrate victories while inadequately addressing or disproportionately punishing failures may inadvertently encourage a fear-based approach to challenges. Conversely, environments that handle success and failure with balance, emphasizing effort and learning over outcome, can mitigate the development of perfectionist tendencies. Understanding the role of childhood and family influences in the genesis of perfectionism underscores the importance of addressing these early imprints. It offers a path to recognizing and unpacking the complex layers of our perfectionist behaviors. This insight not only aids in personal healing and growth but also serves as a guide for nurturing healthier attitudes towards achievement and self-acceptance in future generations. Societal and cultural pressures. Beyond the confines of the family, societal and cultural norms play a significant role on the development of perfectionist tendencies. This section examines how these external pressures shape our perceptions of success, failure, and the pursuit of excellence, further embedding the roots of perfectionism in our psyche. The cult of achievement. Modern society often glorifies achievement, equating success with happiness, worthiness, and social status. This pervasive culture of achievement creates an environment where individuals feel compelled to strive for perfection in all areas of life. The constant bombardment of success stories, whether in academics, career milestones, or personal achievements, sets an unspoken expectation that only the best is good enough, fostering an atmosphere ripe for perfectionism. Cultural definitions of success. Cultural values play a significant role in defining what constitutes success and failure, influencing how perfectionism manifests in different contexts. In cultures where academic and professional achievements are highly valued, the pressure to excel can lead to extreme perfectionist behaviors. Conversely, in societies where community and relational harmony are prioritized, perfectionism may surface in social interactions and personal relationships, driving individuals to meet unrealistic expectations of social conduct and interpersonal dynamics. Competition and comparison. The competitive nature of many societal structures, from education systems to the workplace, encourages a comparison mindset. This constant comparison not only breeds insecurity and self-doubt but also amplifies the fear of not measuring up. The competitive ethos, underscored by a winner-takes-all mentality, can push individuals towards perfectionism as a means to secure their place or identity within these structures. Stigmatization of failure. Societal narratives often stigmatize failure, portraying it as something to be avoided at all costs. This stigma can instill a deep-seated fear of making mistakes, leading to perfectionist strategies aimed at avoiding failure rather than embracing it as a natural and valuable part of the learning process. The reluctance to admit to or share failures further perpetuates a culture where only perfection is visible, skewing perceptions of what is normal or attainable. Societal and cultural pressures contribute significantly to the tapestry of perfectionism, intertwining with personal and familial factors to reinforce the drive towards unattainable standards. Recognizing these external influences is essential for individuals seeking to understand and overcome their perfectionist tendencies. By critically examining the societal and cultural narratives that shape our views on success and failure, we can begin to challenge and redefine these constructs, paving the way for a healthier relationship with perfectionism that celebrates effort, growth, and the inherent value of imperfection. The role of media and social comparison. In today's digital age, the influence of media and the ubiquity of social comparison have become pivotal in shaping and reinforcing perfectionist tendencies. This section explores how the portrayal of ideals in media and the inherent nature of social comparison contribute to the cultivation of perfectionism, further complicating our relationship with self-worth and achievement. Media portrayals of perfection. The media often presents highly curated images of success, beauty, wealth, and happiness, setting unrealistic standards that are difficult, if not impossible, to achieve. These portrayals can skew our perceptions of what is normal or desirable, leading to increased dissatisfaction with our own lives and accomplishments. The gap between the perfection showcased in media and the reality of our own experiences can fuel a drive to close this gap, manifesting as perfectionist behaviors aimed at mirroring these idealized images. The amplification of social comparison. Social media platforms, in particular, have intensified the tendency for social comparison. The selective sharing of successes, milestones, and aesthetic perfection creates a distorted reality where everyone else seems to be living flawless lives. This constant exposure to the highlight reels of others' lives can exacerbate feelings of inadequacy and foster a competitive urge to match or surpass these displays, reinforcing the cycle of perfectionism. Feedback loops and validation seeking. The interactive nature of digital media allows for immediate feedback in the form of likes, comments, and shares, turning these metrics into a form of social validation. For individuals prone to perfectionism, this system can become a feedback loop where self-worth is increasingly tied to external validation. The pursuit of perfection then becomes not just about achieving personal goals but about garnering approval and admiration from a wide audience. Normalized unrealistic expectations. As media continues to normalize and glamorize perfection, the line between aspiration and expectation blurs. What begins as inspiration can quickly turn into a set of stringent self-expectations, with perfectionism stemming from the desire to emulate these mediated realities. The pressure to conform to these polished images can permeate various aspects of life, from physical appearance and lifestyle choices to career achievements and personal relationships. The role of media and social comparison in the development of perfectionism is significant, acting as both mirror and magnifier for our deepest insecurities and aspirations. Recognizing and critically evaluating the sources of our perceptions of perfection can be a powerful step in mitigating their impact. By understanding that these images and comparisons are often not reflective of reality, individuals can begin to free themselves from the unrealistic standards that fuel perfectionist tendencies, fostering a healthier and more compassionate self-view. Conclusion of Chapter 2, Understanding the Seeds of Perfectionism. As we conclude our exploration into the origins of perfectionism, it's evident that this complex trait is not born in isolation. Instead, it is nurtured through a confluence of factors, ranging from childhood and family dynamics to societal pressures and the pervasive influence of media. Each of these elements contributes to the tapestry of perfectionism, embedding expectations and ideals into our psyche that can shape our behaviors and attitudes for years to come. This chapter has highlighted the importance of recognizing the multifaceted roots of perfectionism, not only as a means of understanding ourselves better but also as a crucial step towards meaningful change. By acknowledging these influences, we gain the insight needed to challenge the perfectionist narratives we've internalized, opening the door to a more compassionate and balanced approach to our goals and achievements. As we transition into Chapter 3, the impact on daily life, we'll shift our focus from the origins of perfectionism to its tangible effects on our everyday experiences. We will delve into how perfectionism can infiltrate aspects of our lives such as work, academic pursuits, and personal relationships, and examine its profound impact on our mental health and overall well-being. Understanding the real-world implications of perfectionism is essential for anyone seeking to mitigate its grip and foster a healthier, more fulfilling life. Armed with knowledge of where our perfectionist tendencies come from, we are now better positioned to confront and address their manifestations in our daily lives. The journey ahead will challenge us to apply this understanding, enabling us to navigate the pressures of work and academia, enrich our social interactions, and improve our mental health. Let's continue our exploration, equipped with the tools to reshape our relationship with perfectionism and embrace the imperfections that make life truly meaningful. Chapter 3, Perfectionism in the Fabric of Daily Life. In this chapter, we delve into the tangible effects of perfectionism as it weaves its way through the fabric of our daily lives. Perfectionism is not just a silent whisper urging us towards flawless execution, it's a loud voice that resonates through our work, academic pursuits, personal relationships, and, crucially, our mental health. Here, we explore the multifaceted impact of perfectionism, revealing how it shapes our experiences and interactions in various spheres of life. From the relentless drive for excellence in the workplace and educational institutions to the intricate dynamics of social interactions and the intimate corners of our mental well-being, perfectionism leaves a significant mark. It's essential to understand these impacts not merely as abstract concepts but as lived realities that affect our capacity for joy, fulfillment, and genuine connection. As we navigate through this chapter, we aim to illuminate the ways in which perfectionism can distort our perceptions and experiences, often leading to undue pressure and strain. By unpacking the consequences of perfectionism in these critical areas, we seek not only to foster awareness but also to empower readers with the knowledge to challenge and mitigate its influence in their lives. Let's embark on this journey towards understanding and addressing the pervasive impact of perfectionism on our daily existence, paving the way for a healthier and more balanced approach to life's challenges and opportunities. Work and academic pressure. The realms of work and academia are fertile ground for the growth of perfectionism, where the pursuit of excellence can often morph into an unrelenting demand for flawlessness. This section explores how perfectionism manifests in these environments, highlighting the pressures faced by individuals striving to meet exceedingly high standards and the consequent impact on their performance and well-being. The pursuit of excellence versus the fear of failure. In work and academic settings, the line between striving for excellence and fearing failure becomes blurred. Perfectionists often view any task or project through the lens of potential failure rather than as an opportunity for success or growth. This fear can lead to procrastination, as the dread of producing subpar work paralyzes action, or to overworking, where individuals spend excessive amounts of time on tasks to ensure they meet their own unrealistic standards. Feedback and criticism. For someone battling perfectionism, feedback, even when constructive, can feel like a direct attack on their capabilities and self-worth. In academic and professional environments, where feedback is crucial for development, this can hinder learning and growth. Perfectionists might avoid situations where their work is evaluated, missing out on opportunities to improve or innovate due to the fear of criticism. Impact on productivity and creativity. While perfectionism might initially seem like a driver for high productivity and exceptional results, it often yields the opposite. The excessive focus on details can detract from the overall goal, reducing efficiency and effectiveness. In the realm of academia, this might manifest as endless revisions of an assignment or project, while in the workplace, it could lead to missed deadlines or opportunities. Furthermore, the fear of making mistakes can stifle creativity, as taking risks becomes daunting. Interpersonal dynamics. The pressure perfectionists put on themselves can also affect their interactions with colleagues and peers. High expectations may be projected onto others, leading to tension and conflict within teams. In academic group projects or collaborative work environments, perfectionists might struggle to delegate tasks, fearing that others' work won't meet their high standards, or they may inadvertently alienate themselves from colleagues through their intensity and inability to compromise. Understanding the nuances of how perfectionism impacts work and academic pursuits is crucial for identifying strategies to mitigate its effects. Recognizing the difference between healthy ambition and destructive perfectionism can help individuals set more realistic goals, embrace constructive feedback, and foster a work or study environment that values progress over perfection. By addressing these challenges, individuals can begin to find balance, reducing the undue stress and anxiety associated with perfectionist tendencies, and ultimately, enhancing their productivity, creativity, and satisfaction in their academic and professional lives. Relationships and social interactions. Perfectionism does not confine its influence to individual pursuits, it significantly permeates relationships and social interactions, often with detrimental effects. This section explores the intricate ways in which perfectionist tendencies can complicate and strain personal connections, hindering the ability to foster healthy and fulfilling relationships. Unrealistic expectations. Perfectionists often extend their high standards to their relationships, expecting flawlessness not only from themselves but also from friends, family, and partners. These unrealistic expectations can lead to disappointment and frustration when others inevitably fall short of these idealized standards. The constant pressure to perform or meet these expectations can create a strain on relationships, leading to feelings of inadequacy, resentment, and emotional distance among loved ones. Fear of vulnerability. The admission of flaws or mistakes is anathema to the perfectionist mindset, leading to a profound fear of vulnerability. This fear can significantly impact social interactions and relationships, as perfectionists may avoid deep connections to prevent any exposure of their imperfections. The reluctance to show vulnerability not only hampers the development of intimacy but also prevents the formation of genuine bonds based on mutual trust and understanding. Communication challenges. Perfectionism can lead to communication barriers in relationships. The need to appear flawless can result in defensiveness when confronted with feedback or criticism, making constructive conversations difficult. Additionally, perfectionists might struggle to express their needs or desires out of fear that such admissions could be seen as faults or weaknesses, further complicating interpersonal dynamics. Social withdrawal. The overwhelming pressure to maintain a perfect facade can lead to social withdrawal. Perfectionists might avoid social situations that they fear could expose their imperfections or result in judgment. This withdrawal not only limits opportunities for social interaction but can also lead to loneliness and isolation, exacerbating feelings of disconnection and misunderstanding. Impact on empathy and patience. The internal criticism that perfectionists direct at themselves can sometimes be projected onto others, affecting their ability to offer empathy and patience. When perfectionists encounter flaws or mistakes in others, they may respond with criticism rather than understanding, damaging relationships over time. Learning to extend the same compassion and tolerance towards others that they struggle to afford themselves is a critical challenge for perfectionists. Addressing the impact of perfectionism on relationships and social interactions requires a conscious effort to recalibrate expectations and embrace the imperfections inherent in all human relationships. Cultivating openness, vulnerability, and empathy can pave the way for more meaningful connections, allowing perfectionists to experience the depth and richness of authentic relationships, free from the constraints of unrealistic standards. This journey towards healthier interpersonal dynamics not only enhances personal relationships but also contributes to overall well-being and life satisfaction. Mental health and well-being. Perfectionism casts a long shadow over the landscape of mental health and well-being, influencing our inner world in profound and often challenging ways. At the heart of perfectionism lies a relentless drive for flawlessness, accompanied by a harsh inner critic that amplifies our fears of failure and inadequacy. This internal pressure not only affects how we perceive ourselves but also impacts our overall mental health and emotional equilibrium. The psychological toll of striving for an unattainable ideal can manifest as chronic stress and anxiety. The perpetual fear that one's efforts will never be good enough leads to a state of constant vigilance and worry, contributing to an ongoing cycle of stress that can be both exhausting and debilitating. This heightened state of anxiety not only diminishes our capacity for joy and satisfaction but can also lead to more serious mental health conditions, such as anxiety disorders and depression. Depression, in particular, finds fertile ground in the soil of perfectionism. The gap between one's aspirations and their perceived achievements can evoke feelings of hopelessness and despair, casting a shadow over their sense of self-worth and leading to a diminished interest in activities once found enjoyable. The isolation that often accompanies perfectionism, stemming from a reluctance to show vulnerability or share perceived failures, further exacerbates feelings of loneliness and disconnection, contributing to depressive symptoms. Moreover, perfectionism can interfere with one's ability to engage in self-care and adopt healthy coping mechanisms. The all-consuming nature of perfectionist pursuits often leaves little room for activities that promote mental and emotional well-being, such as relaxation, leisure, and social connections. Additionally, the fear of failure can deter individuals from seeking help or support, as admitting to struggles or shortcomings may be seen as an acknowledgement of defeat. Conclusion. As we conclude our exploration of how perfectionism intricately intertwines with the fabric of our daily lives, it becomes evident that its effects are far-reaching and multifaceted. From the relentless pressures in work and academic realms to the complex dynamics of personal relationships and the profound implications for our mental health and well-being, perfectionism challenges us on multiple fronts. This chapter has illuminated the various ways in which striving for an unattainable ideal can distort our experiences, lead to undue strain, and hinder our capacity for joy and fulfillment. Understanding these impacts is not merely an exercise in self-awareness, it's a crucial step towards empowerment. By acknowledging the pervasive influence of perfectionism in our lives, we can begin to recognize the patterns and triggers that perpetuate this cycle. This awareness is the first step in challenging the perfectionist narrative and mitigating its effects, paving the way for a more balanced and fulfilling existence. As we transition to Chapter 4, Breaking Free from Perfectionism, we shift our focus from understanding the impacts to actively seeking change. This next chapter is dedicated to equipping you with practical strategies and exercises to confront and overcome perfectionism. Through acknowledging imperfection, setting realistic goals, and embracing failure as an essential component of growth, we will explore how to break the cycle of perfectionism. Each step is designed not only to alleviate the pressures of perfectionism but also to foster a healthier relationship with ourselves and the world around us. The journey ahead is one of transformation and liberation. By applying the insights and strategies outlined in the forthcoming chapter, you can start to dismantle the barriers that perfectionism has erected in your life. This process is not about settling for mediocrity but about redefining what it means to live a life marked by progress, resilience, and genuine satisfaction. Let's move forward with courage and compassion, ready to embrace the imperfections that make our lives uniquely our own. Importantly, the impact of perfectionism on mental health is not just limited to individual suffering. It can ripple outwards, affecting relationships, work performance, and overall life satisfaction. Recognizing the detrimental effects of perfectionism on mental health and well-being is a critical step towards fostering a healthier relationship with oneself and others. It opens the door to embracing imperfection, cultivating self-compassion, and finding balance, all of which are essential for a fulfilling and mentally healthy life. In navigating the challenges of perfectionism, it becomes imperative to prioritize mental health and well-being, seeking support when needed and practicing self-kindness. By shifting our focus from perfection to progress, we can begin to alleviate the psychological burdens of perfectionism, paving the way for a more balanced, contented, and resilient existence. Chapter 4: Embracing Your Authentic Self. Embarking on the journey to break free from the chains of perfectionism marks a pivotal point in reclaiming control over your life and well-being. Chapter 4, Breaking Free from Perfectionism, is dedicated to guiding you through this transformative process, offering practical strategies and exercises designed to dismantle the perfectionism trap. This chapter is not just about coping mechanisms, it's about fundamentally altering the way you engage with yourself and the world, fostering resilience, self-compassion, and a healthier pursuit of excellence. The path to overcoming perfectionism begins with acknowledging imperfection, not as a flaw to be hidden, but as an inherent aspect of being human. This acknowledgement paves the way for setting realistic goals that challenge the perfectionist mindset, promoting a sense of achievement and satisfaction derived from progress rather than flawlessness. Furthermore, we will explore the power of embracing failure as a path to growth, recognizing that each setback is an opportunity for learning and development. This chapter aims to empower you with the tools to challenge the perfectionist tendencies that have held sway over your life. Through a combination of reflective exercises, practical tips, and mindset shifts, you'll learn to navigate the complexities of perfectionism, transforming it from a source of stress and self-criticism into a force for personal growth and self-discovery. As we journey through these strategies together, remember that breaking free from perfectionism is not an overnight process. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to embrace the messy, imperfect journey of growth. With each step forward, you'll find yourself moving closer to a life defined not by the relentless pursuit of perfection, but by authenticity, resilience, and the true fulfillment that comes from embracing your authentic self. Let's begin this chapter with an open heart and a commitment to transformation, ready to unlock the doors to a more balanced and fulfilling life. Acknowledging imperfection, a step towards freedom. Embracing our imperfections is a crucial first step in breaking free from the chains of perfectionism. This acknowledgement allows us to see ourselves in a more compassionate and realistic light, paving the way for genuine growth and self-acceptance. Below is a checklist designed to guide you through the process of acknowledging imperfection, helping you to embrace your authentic self and diminish the hold perfectionism has on your life. Checklist for acknowledging imperfection. 1. Reflect on your definition of perfection. Write down what perfection means to you in different areas of your life, work, relationships, personal goals. Reflect on these definitions and ask yourself whether they are realistically attainable. 2. Identify areas where perfectionism holds you back. Make a list of areas in your life where striving for perfectionism is causing more harm than good. This could be in your professional life, personal projects, or relationships. 3. Practice self-compassion. Each time you notice yourself being overly critical, pause and offer yourself a compassionate response. Remind yourself that mistakes and flaws are part of being human. 4. Challenge perfectionist thoughts. When you catch yourself having perfectionist thoughts, challenge them. Ask yourself, is this thought based on realistic standards? And what would I say to a friend in this situation? 5. Celebrate small wins and imperfect attempts. Acknowledge and celebrate your efforts, even if the outcome wasn't perfect. Recognizing the value in trying and making progress is key to overcoming perfectionism. 6. Share your struggles with trusted others. Open up about your struggles with perfectionism to friends, family, or a support group. Sharing your experiences can help to normalize imperfection and foster a sense of connection. 7. Set aside time for unstructured activities. Engage in activities without a set goal or standard of perfection. This could be creative endeavors, playful hobbies, or relaxation. Notice and appreciate the joy in simply being rather than achieving. 8. Reflect on the cost of perfectionism. Consider the emotional, physical, and relational costs of striving for perfection. Write these down and reflect on how perfectionism has impacted your well-being. 9. Embrace vulnerability. Allow yourself to be vulnerable by expressing emotions, asking for help, or sharing ideas without the assurance of perfection. Recognize vulnerability as a strength, not a weakness. 10. Remind yourself, perfection is not a prerequisite for worthiness. Regularly affirm that your worth is not contingent on being perfect. Your value lies in your inherent humanity, not in your achievements or the absence of flaws. By working through this checklist, you can begin to dismantle the perfectionist mindset and open up space for a more forgiving and accepting relationship with yourself. Acknowledging imperfection is not about lowering your standards or giving up on growth, it's about creating a healthier, more balanced foundation from which to pursue your goals and live a fulfilling life. Setting realistic goals, navigating towards balance. In the journey to overcome perfectionism, setting realistic goals is a vital strategy. It helps to shift focus from unattainable perfection to achievable progress. Incorporating the SMART criteria, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, into goal setting can be a powerful way to ensure that objectives are clear, manageable, and aligned with your values. However, like any approach, it comes with its pros and cons. Understanding these, along with the importance of breaking goals into actionable tasks, can significantly enhance your ability to reach these goals effectively. The SMART criteria, pros and cons. Pros. 1. Clarity and focus. SMART goals require specificity, which eliminates vagueness and focuses your efforts on clearly defined outcomes. This clarity reduces the overwhelm often felt by perfectionists facing broad, undefined goals. 2. Measurability and tracking. Setting measurable goals means you can track progress over time. This feature is invaluable for perfectionists as it provides concrete evidence of advancement, helping to counteract feelings of never doing enough. 3. Achievability. By ensuring goals are achievable, the SMART criteria help mitigate the perfectionist's tendency to set excessively ambitious targets. This can reduce the pressure and fear of failure that often accompany perfectionist goal setting. For relevance, this aspect ensures that goals are aligned with personal values and long-term objectives, offering a sense of purpose and motivation that is especially crucial for overcoming perfectionism. 5. Time-bound. Having a deadline encourages action and can help combat procrastination, a common struggle for perfectionists who may delay starting projects due to fear of imperfection. Cons. 1. Risk of rigidity. While structure is beneficial, adhering too strictly to SMART goals can sometimes lead to rigidity, leaving little room for flexibility or adjustments based on new insights or changing circumstances. 2. Overemphasis on outcome. Focusing heavily on measurable outcomes might inadvertently reinforce a perfectionist's tendency to equate self-worth with achievement, potentially overlooking the value of the learning process itself. 3. Potential for short-term focus. The time-bound nature of SMART goals could encourage a short-term focus, possibly at the expense of broader, more meaningful long-term aspirations that require open-ended exploration and flexibility. Creating actionable tasks to reach SMART goals. Breaking your SMART goals into actionable tasks is a critical step in making them attainable. This approach not only makes the goals less daunting but also provides a clear roadmap for achieving them. Here's how to leverage actionable tasks effectively. Break goals down. Start by dividing your goals into smaller, manageable tasks. This breakdown can transform an overwhelming objective into a series of achievable steps, making the process less intimidating and more manageable. Prioritize tasks. Identify which tasks are most critical to achieving your goals and prioritize them. This helps ensure that you focus your efforts on the most impactful activities. Set mini deadlines. Assign deadlines to each task. Mini deadlines can create a sense of urgency and progress, keeping you motivated and on track. Celebrate milestones. Recognize and celebrate the completion of tasks and milestones. This reinforces positive progress and can help counteract perfectionism by valuing effort and incremental achievement. Adjust as needed. Stay flexible and willing to adjust your tasks and strategies based on feedback and changing circumstances. This adaptability is crucial for navigating unforeseen challenges and opportunities for growth. By setting realistic goals through the SMART criteria and breaking them into actionable tasks, you can navigate the journey of overcoming perfectionism with more confidence and less stress. This approach fosters a balanced perspective on achievement, focusing on progress and personal growth rather than unattainable perfection. Embracing failure as a path to growth. One of the most transformative steps in overcoming perfectionism is learning to embrace failure not as an endpoint but as a vital component of personal growth and development. This shift in perspective requires a fundamental change in how we view setbacks and challenges, seeing them as opportunities for learning rather than evidence of inadequacy. Embracing failure as a path to growth can liberate you from the fear of making mistakes, allowing for greater creativity, resilience, and a deeper understanding of your strengths and limitations. Reframing failure. To start embracing failure, it's essential to reframe it in your mind. View failures as feedback. Start seeing failures as valuable feedback rather than judgments on your worth. Each setback provides insights into what works, what doesn't, and how you can improve. Normalize the experience of failing. Understand that failure is a universal experience, not something that singles you out as unworthy or incapable. Sharing stories of setbacks and resilience can help normalize failure and foster a sense of community and support. Learning from setbacks. Learning from failures is crucial for growth. Analyze failures objectively. Instead of personalizing failure, analyze it objectively to identify specific factors that contributed to the outcome. This approach helps in crafting strategies for improvement. Develop a growth mindset. Cultivate a growth mindset by believing in the ability to grow and learn through effort and persistence. This mindset encourages seeing challenges as opportunities to expand your abilities. Building resilience. Embracing failure strengthens resilience, equipping you to handle future challenges with grace. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself in the face of setbacks. Self-compassion fosters emotional resilience, making it easier to bounce back from failures. Celebrate efforts, not just outcomes. Shift your focus to valuing effort and progress instead of just the final outcome. Celebrating the journey enhances resilience and reduces the fear of trying new things. Implementing failure-positive actions. Putting this philosophy into practice involves tangible steps. Create a failure resume. Document your failures along with the lessons learned from each. This exercise can help you appreciate the value of each setback. Set learning goals. Instead of only setting performance goals, include goals focused on learning new skills or knowledge, where success is measured by what you learn, not just by achieving a specific outcome. Engage in deliberate practice. Focus on areas where you can improve by seeking challenging tasks that push you beyond your comfort zone. Deliberate practice involves continuous feedback and adjustment, embracing failures as part of the learning process. Embracing failure as a path to growth challenges the perfectionist's narrative that success is the only measure of value. It allows for a richer, more nuanced approach to personal and professional development where setbacks become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. This journey towards accepting and learning from failure not only mitigates the paralyzing effects of perfectionism but also opens up a world of possibilities for growth, innovation, and fulfillment. Conclusion. As we conclude Chapter 4, Breaking Free from Perfectionism, we reflect on the transformative journey we've embarked upon. Through acknowledging our imperfections, setting realistic goals, and embracing failure as a path to growth, we begin to untangle the complex web of perfectionism that has constrained our lives. This chapter has not only provided practical strategies and exercises for overcoming perfectionism but also encouraged a deeper introspection into how we view ourselves and our capabilities. The path to breaking free from perfectionism is marked by a series of small, intentional steps toward embracing our authentic selves. It challenges us to redefine success, to find value in the journey as much as the destination, and to recognize that our worth is not predicated on an unattainable standard of flawlessness. This journey is about cultivating resilience, self-compassion, and a healthier pursuit of excellence, one that celebrates progress, learning, and the beauty of our inherent imperfections. As we transition to Chapter 5, Tools and Techniques for the Journey, we are poised to delve deeper into specific strategies that can support us in maintaining the gains achieved and in continuing to counteract perfectionistic tendencies. This next chapter introduces cognitive behavioral approaches, mindfulness and acceptance techniques, and ways to build resilience and self-compassion. Each of these tools offers a unique perspective and method for dealing with perfectionistic thoughts and behaviors, providing us with a robust toolkit for navigating the challenges that lie ahead. The journey toward overcoming perfectionism is ongoing, and there will be moments of setback alongside moments of triumph. However, equipped with the insights and strategies from this chapter, and with the additional tools and techniques to be explored, we are better prepared to face these challenges. We move forward with a commitment to self-improvement, not through the lens of perfection, but through the lens of growth, self-acceptance, and authenticity. Let us embrace the next chapter with an open mind and a heart ready for change, carrying forward the lessons learned and the strength gained. Together, we continue on this path, not just in pursuit of breaking free from perfectionism, but in pursuit of a life defined by genuine fulfillment, resilience, and the joy of embracing our true selves. Chapter 5: Navigating the Path with Tools and Techniques. As we advance in our journey toward overcoming perfectionism, it becomes crucial to arm ourselves with a set of practical tools and techniques designed to address and transform perfectionistic thoughts and behaviors. Chapter 5, Tools and Techniques for the Journey, is dedicated to presenting a curated collection of strategies that draw from cognitive behavioral approaches, mindfulness practices, and the cultivation of resilience and self-compassion. These tools are not only effective in combating the often intrusive and limiting patterns of perfectionism but also in fostering a more compassionate, accepting, and resilient approach to life's challenges. Cognitive behavioral strategies offer a structured way to identify and challenge the distorted thinking patterns that fuel perfectionism, replacing them with more balanced and realistic perspectives. Mindfulness and acceptance practices encourage a present-focused awareness and an embracing of experiences without judgment, providing a powerful counterbalance to the critical and future-oriented nature of perfectionism. Building resilience and self-compassion involves strengthening our capacity to bounce back from setbacks and to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, qualities that are often overlooked by the perfectionist mindset. This chapter aims to equip you with a comprehensive toolkit that addresses perfectionism from multiple angles, ensuring that you have a range of options to draw upon when faced with perfectionistic urges. By integrating these tools and techniques into your daily life, you can begin to loosen the grip of perfectionism, opening up space for growth, fulfillment, and a deeper connection with yourself and others. As we explore each of these strategies, remember that the journey to overcoming perfectionism is highly personal and what works for one individual may not work for another. Therefore, approach this chapter with curiosity and openness, ready to experiment with different techniques to find what resonates most with you. Let's embark on this next phase of our journey, armed with the tools and knowledge to continue breaking free from perfectionism and moving toward a life of authenticity, acceptance, and resilience. Cognitive behavioral approaches to overcoming perfectionism. Cognitive behavioral therapy (CBT) is a highly effective, evidence-based psychological treatment that addresses the interconnectedness of thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. Central to CBT is the concept that our cognitive processes, the way we perceive and think about our environment and ourselves, play a fundamental role in shaping our emotional responses and actions. By identifying and modifying distorted thinking patterns and beliefs, CBT helps individuals adopt healthier attitudes and behaviors, making it particularly effective for addressing perfectionism. Key tools and techniques in CBT for perfectionism. 1. Identifying cognitive distortions. Perfectionism is often fueled by distorted thinking patterns such as all-or-nothing thinking, viewing situations in black and white terms, overgeneralization, seeing a single negative event as a never-ending pattern of defeat, and catastrophizing, anticipating the worst possible outcome. The first step in CBT involves becoming aware of these cognitive distortions and understanding their role in perpetuating perfectionism. Example: if you receive feedback on a project and focus only on the criticism, ignoring any praise, you might be engaging in filtering, a type of cognitive distortion. Recognizing this pattern allows you to challenge and adjust your perception to consider feedback more holistically. 2. Challenging and replacing distorted thoughts. Once cognitive distortions are identified, the next step is to challenge their accuracy and replace them with more balanced and realistic thoughts. This involves questioning the evidence for your thoughts, considering alternative interpretations, and looking at the situation from different perspectives. Example: if you believe that making any mistake at work will lead to being fired, challenge this thought by asking yourself, what evidence do I have that this will happen, or have there been times when I or others made mistakes and the consequences were manageable? 3. Behavioral experiments. Behavioral experiments in CBT involve testing out the beliefs that fuel perfectionism by engaging in activities that challenge these beliefs. This might include setting slightly lower standards for a task and observing the outcomes, allowing you to directly experience the reality of your fears and adjust your beliefs accordingly. Example: if you fear that submitting a report that's not absolutely perfect will result in harsh criticism, try submitting it with minor imperfections and observe the actual response. Often, you'll find that the outcome is far less catastrophic than anticipated. 4. Gradual exposure to feared situations. Gradually exposing yourself to situations you typically avoid due to fears of imperfection or failure helps to desensitize you to these fears. Starting with less intimidating tasks and gradually working up to more challenging ones can build confidence and reduce avoidance behaviors. Example: if you avoid sharing your ideas in meetings for fear of judgment, start by sharing small suggestions with a trusted colleague. Gradually increase the frequency and scope of your contributions as your comfort level improves. 5. Developing self-compassion. A critical component of CBT for perfectionism is cultivating self-compassion. This involves treating yourself with kindness and understanding during moments of perceived failure or inadequacy, rather than with harsh self-criticism. Example: when you catch yourself beating up over a mistake, pause and ask, "What would I say to a friend in this situation?" This helps shift your internal dialogue to one of support and understanding. By integrating these cognitive behavioral strategies into your approach to tackling perfectionism, you can start to dismantle the beliefs and behaviors that keep you trapped in a cycle of unrealistic expectations and self-criticism. Embracing CBT's principles and practices offers a path toward a more balanced, fulfilling life where perfection is seen not as the goal, but as just one of many ways to gauge progress and growth. Mindfulness and acceptance in overcoming perfectionism. Mindfulness and acceptance are powerful tools in the journey to overcome perfectionism. They help shift the focus from critical self-evaluation and future-oriented worries to a more compassionate, present-moment awareness. By cultivating mindfulness, you learn to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment, reducing the impact of perfectionistic tendencies. Acceptance involves embracing your experiences, thoughts, and feelings without trying to change them, acknowledging your current state while making room for growth and change. 5 mindfulness exercises. 1. Breathing meditation. Find a quiet space and sit comfortably. Close your eyes and bring your attention to your breath. Observe the sensation of breathing in and out without trying to change it. When your mind wanders, gently redirect your focus back to your breath. Continue for 5 to 10 minutes, fostering a non-judgmental awareness of the present moment. 2. Body scan meditation. Lie down on your back in a comfortable position. Starting at your toes, bring your attention to each part of your body in turn, noticing any sensations, tension, or discomfort. Breathe into each body part, imagining tension melting away with each exhale. Move slowly through your body, up to the top of your head, maintaining a gentle, curious awareness. 3. Mindful walking. Go for a walk in a natural setting if possible. Focus on the experience of walking, paying attention to the sensations in your feet and legs as they make contact with the ground. Notice the sights, sounds, and smells around you, fully immersing yourself in the present moment. If your mind wanders to perfectionistic thoughts, acknowledge them and return your focus to the act of walking. 4. Mindful eating. Choose a small item of food, like a piece of fruit. Before eating, take a moment to appreciate its appearance, smell, and texture. Take a small bite, savoring the taste and texture as you chew slowly. Notice the sensations and thoughts that arise, eating with full attention to the experience. 5. Gratitude journaling. Each day, write down 3 things you're grateful for. Focus on simple, present-moment experiences or feelings rather than outcomes or achievements. Reflect on why each experience was meaningful, fostering a mindset of appreciation and presence. A step-by-step guide on acceptance. 1. Identify what you're feeling. Take a moment to recognize and name the emotions or thoughts you're experiencing, whether it's anxiety, frustration, or self-criticism. 2. Allow yourself to feel. Instead of pushing away uncomfortable feelings, allow yourself to feel them fully. Acknowledge that it's okay to experience a range of emotions. 3. Practice self-compassion. Approach your feelings with kindness and understanding. Use compassionate self-talk, such as "It's understandable I feel this way," or "It's okay to be imperfect." 4. Understand impermanence. Remind yourself that emotions and thoughts are temporary and will pass. This perspective can help reduce the intensity of negative feelings. 5. Decouple self-worth from perfection. Work on separating your sense of self-worth from achievements or perfection. Recognize that you are valuable and worthy regardless of performance or outcomes. 6. Engage in values-based actions. Focus on actions and decisions that align with your core values, rather than those driven by perfectionistic standards. This shift emphasizes living authentically rather than striving for an unattainable ideal. 7. Seek support when needed. Share your feelings and experiences with trusted friends, family, or professionals. Support and understanding from others can reinforce the acceptance process. By integrating mindfulness and acceptance practices into your life, you can develop a more compassionate, balanced approach to dealing with perfectionistic thoughts and behaviors. These tools not only foster a greater sense of peace and presence but also empower you to embrace your authentic self, free from the constraints of perfectionism. Building resilience and self-compassion. In the quest to overcome perfectionism, building resilience and self-compassion stands as a cornerstone for sustainable change and personal growth. Resilience allows us to bounce back from setbacks and challenges, while self-compassion offers a kind, understanding response to our own imperfections and struggles. Together, they provide a powerful antidote to the harsh self-criticism and fear of failure that fuel perfectionistic behaviors. Building resilience. Resilience is the ability to adapt well in the face of adversity, trauma, tragedy, threats, or significant sources of stress. It's about bouncing back from difficult experiences and, importantly, learning and growing from them. Here are strategies to enhance resilience. Foster a growth mindset, embrace challenges as opportunities for learning and development. Understand that skills and abilities can be developed through dedication and hard work. Cultivate connections, build strong, positive relationships with loved ones and peers who can offer support and encouragement. Community and connection are vital to resilience. Set realistic goals and take action. Set achievable goals and take small, practical steps toward accomplishing them. Feeling effective and capable boosts resilience. Take care of your body and mind. Regular physical activity, adequate sleep, and mindfulness practices can enhance your ability to cope with stress and rebound from adversity. Embrace change as a part of life. Accepting that change is a part of living can help you focus on what you can control and work through feelings of uncertainty. Cultivating self-compassion. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness, concern, and support you'd offer a good friend. It has three main components: self-kindness, common humanity, and mindfulness. Strategies for fostering self-compassion include: practice mindful self-kindness. Pay attention to your inner dialogue. Replace critical or judgmental thoughts with kinder, gentler ones. Speak to yourself as you would to a friend facing similar challenges. Recognize our common humanity. Understand that you are not alone in your struggles. Imperfection and suffering are part of the shared human experience. Be present with your feelings. Allow yourself to feel whatever emotions arise, without judgment or suppression. Mindfulness can help you stay connected to the present moment and approach your experiences with openness and curiosity. To dive deeper into these concepts, consider exploring resources such as the audiobook Building Resilience, Thriving in Times of Change by Better Life Library. This audiobook provides insights and strategies to help you navigate life's challenges and emerge stronger. The link to this book will be in the description below. By actively building resilience and practicing self-compassion, you create a solid foundation for dealing with perfectionistic thoughts and behaviors. These skills not only help in overcoming perfectionism but also enhance overall well-being, leading to a more balanced, fulfilled life. Embrace these practices as part of your daily routine and watch as you grow in strength, compassion, and resilience. Conclusion. As we close Chapter 5, Tools and Techniques for the Journey, we've equipped ourselves with a suite of strategies aimed at dismantling perfectionistic tendencies and fostering a more compassionate, resilient approach to life's inevitable challenges. Through cognitive behavioral approaches, mindfulness and acceptance practices, and the cultivation of resilience and self-compassion, we've laid the groundwork for a transformative shift in how we engage with ourselves and the world around us. This collection of tools and techniques is more than just a set of exercises. It's a blueprint for a way of living that values progress over perfection, learning over flawlessness, and self-kindness over self-criticism. By incorporating these strategies into your daily life, you're not just working to overcome perfectionism, you're building a foundation for lasting well-being and fulfillment. As we move forward, remember that the journey out of the perfectionism trap is deeply personal and uniquely yours. There will be setbacks and challenges, but also moments of profound insight and growth. The tools and techniques outlined in this chapter are designed to support you through all phases of this journey, providing guidance, comfort, and encouragement as you navigate the complexities of change. Looking ahead to Chapter 6, Living Beyond the Trap, we'll draw inspiration from the stories of those who have successfully navigated their way out of the clutches of perfectionism. These narratives will illuminate the tangible changes and newfound freedoms that become possible when we let go of perfectionistic ideals. We'll explore the benefits of embracing imperfection, the joy of living authentically, and the strategies for maintaining progress and avoiding relapse. These stories serve as a testament to the transformative power of the journey you're on, offering hope and motivation for the path ahead. As this chapter concludes, take a moment to reflect on the progress you've made and the insights you've gained. The journey to overcoming perfectionism is ongoing, a continuous process of learning, growing, and evolving. Armed with the tools and techniques from this chapter, you're well prepared to face the challenges and embrace the opportunities that lie ahead. Continue to move forward with courage, compassion, and an open heart, ready to experience the richness and depth of a life lived beyond the trap of perfectionism. Chapter 6: Living Beyond the Trap. In this chapter, Living Beyond the Trap, we turn our gaze towards the horizon, where the shadows of perfectionism no longer dictate the journey. Here, we celebrate the courage and resilience of those who have ventured through the thicket of self-doubt and relentless standards, emerging into a space of greater freedom, authenticity, and joy. This chapter is a testament to the possibility of change, offering inspiration and hope through the success stories of individuals who have triumphed over the compulsion for perfection. The narratives shared within these pages are not just stories of overcoming, they are blueprints for thriving. They illuminate the profound shifts in perspective, relationships, and self-worth that unfold when the chains of perfectionism are broken. By delving into the lived experiences of others, we gain insights into the tangible benefits of embracing imperfection, from enhanced creativity and stronger connections with others to a deeper sense of inner peace. Yet, the journey does not end with the act of letting go. True freedom from perfectionism involves an ongoing commitment to self-awareness, growth, and the strategies that support lasting change. Thus, we will also explore how to maintain progress and avoid relapse, ensuring that the lessons learned and the strides made become integral parts of a sustained transformation. As you embark on this chapter, let the stories of triumph and transformation remind you of the potential that lies within your own journey. The path to living beyond the trap of perfectionism is paved with challenges, but it is also filled with moments of profound insight, liberation, and fulfillment. Let these stories inspire you to continue forging ahead, armed with the knowledge that a life of authenticity and freedom is not only possible but within reach. Success stories of overcoming perfectionism. Alex's story, embracing imperfection in art. Alex, a talented graphic designer, struggled with perfectionism that stifled his creativity. Hours turned into days as he attempted to create flawless designs, often missing deadlines or abandoning projects out of frustration. The turning point came when Alex attended a workshop on the beauty of imperfection in art, where he learned to appreciate the unique character and authenticity that imperfect elements could bring to his work. By embracing this new perspective, Alex began to experiment more freely, leading to a distinctive style that won him acclaim and satisfied clients who loved the uniqueness of his work. Alex's journey illustrates how letting go of perfectionism can unlock creativity and open new doors in one's career. Mina's story, breaking free in academia. Mina, a graduate student, found herself paralyzed by the fear of failure, spending countless hours on assignments, never feeling satisfied with her work. This pursuit of perfection began to take a toll on her mental health and academic performance. With support from a campus counselor, Mina learned to set realistic goals and celebrate the process of learning rather than fixating on grades. She started participating more in class and collaborating with peers, finding joy in the exchange of ideas. Mina's story highlights the liberating effect of shifting focus from outcomes to the richness of the learning experience itself. Jordan's story, a new chapter in personal relationships. Jordan's perfectionism extended into his personal life, where he held unrealistic expectations for himself and his partner, leading to strain and dissatisfaction in the relationship. The fear of being imperfect or vulnerable made him distant. After a series of heartfelt conversations and couples therapy, Jordan began to understand the value of vulnerability and authenticity in building deeper connections. By learning to express his needs and accept imperfections in himself and his partner, Jordan discovered a level of intimacy and satisfaction he had never thought possible. This story showcases the transformative power of acceptance and vulnerability in enriching personal relationships. Riley's story, resilience in the face of failure. Riley, an entrepreneur, faced the ultimate test of her perfectionism when her first startup failed. Devastated by what she saw as a personal failure, Riley struggled to find the courage to try again. Through mentorship, she learned the importance of resilience and the role of failure in growth. Riley embraced the lessons from her failed venture, applying them to her next project, which achieved significant success. Riley's experience underscores the invaluable insights and strength that can come from embracing and learning from failure, rather than fearing it. These stories, inspired by common experiences, demonstrate that overcoming perfectionism doesn't mean lowering standards or accepting mediocrity. Instead, it involves embracing imperfection as an integral part of being human, which can lead to greater creativity, deeper relationships, personal growth, and resilience. Each story is a beacon of hope, showing that with the right mindset and strategies, it is possible to break free from the trap of perfectionism and live a more fulfilled and balanced life. The benefits of letting go. The journey to overcome perfectionism is not just about mitigating its challenges, it's about unlocking a world of benefits that foster a richer, more vibrant life. Letting go of the relentless pursuit of perfection opens up a space where growth, contentment, and genuine connections flourish. Here, we delve into the transformative benefits of embracing imperfection and the freedom it brings. Enhanced creativity and innovation. One of the most immediate benefits of letting go of perfectionism is the liberation of creativity. Perfectionism often shackles the creative process with fear and self-doubt, stifling innovation. When individuals release these constraints, they allow themselves to explore, experiment, and take risks. This openness not only fuels creativity but also leads to novel solutions and breakthroughs that were previously hindered by the fear of failure. Improved mental and physical well-being. The pressure to be perfect can be a significant source of stress, contributing to anxiety, depression, and even physical health issues. Letting go of perfectionism alleviates this pressure, leading to a noticeable improvement in mental health. Stress levels decrease, sleep improves, and overall well-being enhances, offering a more balanced and healthy approach to life's challenges. Deeper personal relationships. Perfectionism can create barriers to intimacy, as the fear of vulnerability and failure makes genuine connections challenging. Embracing imperfection fosters authenticity and openness, vital ingredients for deep, meaningful relationships. By showing up as their true selves, individuals find that their connections with others are enriched, leading to stronger, more supportive bonds. Increased resilience and adaptability. Letting go of the need for perfection equips individuals with the resilience to face setbacks and challenges head-on. Instead of viewing failure as a catastrophe, it becomes a stepping stone for growth. This shift in perspective enhances adaptability, enabling individuals to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and confidence. Greater life satisfaction and joy. Perhaps the most profound benefit of releasing perfectionism is the increase in life satisfaction and joy. Without the constant pressure to meet unattainable standards, individuals find more space to appreciate the present moment and savor the journey, not just the destination. This appreciation for life as it is, with all its imperfections, leads to a deeper sense of fulfillment and happiness. A renewed sense of freedom. Ultimately, letting go of perfectionism brings a renewed sense of freedom, freedom from self-imposed constraints, freedom to be oneself, and freedom to live life fully. This liberation allows individuals to pursue their passions, embrace new experiences, and live authentically, unencumbered by the chains of perfectionism. In summary, the benefits of letting go of perfectionism touch every aspect of life, from creativity and well-being to relationships, resilience, and overall satisfaction. As individuals embark on this journey, they discover that the beauty of life lies in its imperfections, and in embracing these, they find true freedom and joy. This chapter serves not only as a guide but as an invitation to explore the vast, enriching landscape that lies beyond the trap of perfectionism. Maintaining progress and avoiding relapse. Overcoming perfectionism is a significant achievement, yet the journey doesn't end with the initial breakthrough. The path forward involves continuous effort to maintain progress and prevent relapse into old patterns. Like any aspect of personal growth, staying vigilant and committed to the principles that facilitated your initial success is crucial. This section provides strategies to sustain your achievements and minimize the risk of reverting to perfectionistic tendencies. Establish a support system. One of the most effective ways to maintain progress is to ensure you have a robust support system. This can include friends, family, therapists, or support groups who understand your journey and can provide encouragement, perspective, and accountability. Regular check-ins with these individuals can help you stay on track and offer a safety net when you're facing challenges. Reflect and reassess regularly. Set aside time for regular self-reflection to assess your current state and recognize any signs of slipping back into perfectionist habits. Ask yourself questions like, am I setting unrealistic standards for myself again? Or how am I handling mistakes and setbacks? Honest self-assessment allows you to adjust your strategies and keep your commitment to imperfection and self-compassion at the forefront. Celebrate your progress. Recognizing and celebrating your progress, no matter how small, reinforces the positive changes you've made. Celebrations can be as simple as acknowledging a moment of self-compassion or as significant as commemorating a year of embracing imperfection. These celebrations serve as reminders of how far you've come and why the journey is worth continuing. Continue practicing mindfulness and self-compassion. Mindfulness and self-compassion are foundational tools in overcoming perfectionism, and their importance continues in maintaining progress. Continue to cultivate present-moment awareness and treat yourself with kindness and understanding, especially in moments of stress or when facing setbacks. Have a relapse prevention plan. Despite your best efforts, there may be times when you find yourself slipping back into old patterns. Having a relapse prevention plan can help you navigate these moments effectively. This plan might include identifying triggers, developing coping strategies, and determining who you can reach out to for support. Remember, relapse is not a sign of failure but an opportunity for learning and growth. Embrace lifelong learning. View the journey beyond perfectionism as an ongoing process of learning and growth. Stay open to new strategies, perspectives, and experiences that can enrich your understanding and strengthen your resilience. Continuous learning fosters adaptability and ensures that you remain engaged and proactive in your personal development. Stay flexible and forgiving. Finally, maintain flexibility in your expectations and goals, and be forgiving of yourself when things don't go as planned. The ability to adapt and respond with self-compassion rather than self-criticism is key to sustaining progress and enjoying a fulfilling life free from the constraints of perfectionism. Maintaining progress and avoiding relapse is a dynamic process that requires persistence, patience, and a deep commitment to the values of authenticity and self-compassion. By applying these strategies, you can continue to build on your successes, navigate challenges with resilience, and enjoy the freedom and fulfillment that come from living beyond the trap of perfectionism. Conclusion. As we conclude Chapter 6, Living Beyond the Trap, and reflect on the journeys of those who have navigated the challenging but rewarding path out of perfectionism, we're reminded of the power of embracing our authentic selves. The stories shared in this chapter serve not only as beacons of hope but also as tangible proof that moving beyond the confines of perfectionism can lead to a life filled with greater creativity, deeper relationships, resilience, and true satisfaction. The journey of overcoming perfectionism is one marked by continuous growth, learning, and self-discovery. It's a path that requires patience, persistence, and a commitment to challenging the old patterns that once defined us. Yet, as the stories in this chapter illustrate, the rewards of this journey are immeasurable, offering a renewed sense of freedom, joy, and fulfillment. The benefits of letting go of perfectionism, enhanced creativity, improved well-being, deeper relationships, increased resilience, and greater life satisfaction, highlight the richness of life that awaits on the other side of the trap. These gains underscore the importance of maintaining progress, staying vigilant against relapse, and continuing to cultivate the tools and strategies that support a balanced and authentic way of living. As we move forward from this chapter, let the narratives of transformation inspire you to embrace your own journey with courage and openness. The path to living beyond the trap of perfectionism is unique for each of us, but it's a journey well worth embarking on. It's a journey towards embracing imperfection, not as a flaw, but as a fundamental and beautiful aspect of being human. This chapter, and indeed this book, is an invitation to step into a life where perfection is no longer the goal, but rather a life where growth, connection, and authenticity are celebrated. It's a call to live freely, beyond the constraints of perfectionism, and to discover the boundless possibilities that arise when we let go of the need to be perfect. As we close this chapter and look to the future, remember that the journey doesn't end here. Each day offers a new opportunity to apply the lessons learned, to face challenges with resilience and grace, and to live in a way that honors our true selves. The path beyond perfectionism is not always easy, but it is profoundly rewarding. Armed with the insights and strategies from this book, you are well prepared to continue your journey, embracing the beauty of imperfection and the freedom that comes with living authentically. May you move forward with confidence, compassion, and an open heart, ready to experience the richness and depth of a life lived beyond the trap of perfectionism. Conclusion: A life unbound. As we bring our exploration to a close, we stand at the threshold of a profound realization. The journey out of the perfectionism trap is not a destination to be reached, but a path to be walked, a continuous process of growth, self-discovery, and liberation. This journey, with its challenges and triumphs, guides us toward a life unencumbered by the relentless pursuit of perfection, a life where our worth is not measured by our achievements or the flawlessness of our endeavors, but by our courage to embrace our authentic selves, imperfections and all. Embracing a flawed but fulfilling life is an act of defiance against the unrealistic standards that society, and often we ourselves, have set. It is an acknowledgement that perfection is an illusion, a mirage that distracts us from the beauty of our real lives, with all their messiness, complexity, and joy. As we learn to let go of the need for perfection, we open ourselves to experiences that, while imperfect, are infinitely richer and more meaningful. This journey teaches us that our flaws and mistakes are not failings, but facets of our humanity that connect us to others, offering opportunities for growth, empathy, and deeper relationships. It reveals the strength inherent in vulnerability, the courage it takes to show up as we are, and the resilience we build as we navigate the ups and downs of life without the armor of perfectionism. As we move forward, let us carry with us the lessons learned from the stories of transformation shared in these pages, the strategies and tools that have guided us toward a more balanced way of being, and the understanding that the pursuit of a fulfilling life is enriched, not diminished, by our imperfections. Let us commit to practicing self-compassion, to celebrating progress over perfection, and to finding joy in the journey itself. The potential for a fulfilling life unencumbered by the need for perfection lies within each of us. It requires diligence, mindfulness, and an ongoing commitment to challenge the old patterns that once held us captive. Yet, the reward for this commitment is a life lived with authenticity, a life where each moment is appreciated for what it is, not what it could be if only it were perfect. In closing, remember that you are not alone on this journey. The path out of the perfectionism trap is one many have walked before you, and many will walk after. Each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory in the quest for a life unbound by perfectionism, a life that celebrates the beauty of being wonderfully, gloriously, perfectly imperfect. May you embrace this flawed but fulfilling life with open arms, open heart, and a spirit unbound, ready to experience the depth, richness, and profound satisfaction that comes from living true to yourself, beyond the shadow of perfectionism.